Feel your breath on the back of my neck.
The Hunter. Tikani's Kev. I still can't get over that tattoo. That tattoo is fucking sick.
Oh, thanks, Rye.
I gotta get that candle action in the back, huh? I gotta compete with some of the shit you have behind you.
How's it look?
Have to help me with the setup. Good.
Dude, my shirt just came in. Charlie Benante of Anthrax, he designed it.
Which member of Anthrax?
A drummer.
Oh, Charlie?
The drummer, yeah, Charlie. And on the back it says Cliff Burton Day with his big signature on it, which is his birthday.
Oh, shit. Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm really jealous.
Had to get that one. I'm merch sick, but I'm good. It's all, I'm grateful, you know. Got to control it. I got the spending gene, just like Dad. And I'm acknowledging it right now on I Ask No One. I mean, this shit's being recorded, but I may include this, I may not.
You bust your ass. You can splurge whenever you want.
It's good to see you, man. Looking good.
Yep. Yamas.
Looking good. Cheers, man.
I don't have arms like you. I'm trying to get there. A little bit leaned out. You definitely have me beat. In the gym, I use the colored weights, those weights that are rainbow colored.
Yeah.
They work.
Yeah, I had to flash the Allen jersey here. Dude, I've got right off the top, dude, I have a dad joke for him. I mean, right off the bat, you're gonna laugh. And I'm gonna see if he's got any dad jokes on him too. I've got some funny shit to bring up, dude, and he knows most of what's coming. Including about his sister Skye at the end, towards the end there. And then we'll finish off with the Bills. So when we finish with the mental health part, we may talk about the Bills right off the top.
I'm just gonna sit back,
dude. You're better at talking Bills, so dude, I'll give you the floor with Bills, and I'll chime in.
Think on the fly.
Yeah. I got the signed Remission record right here to flash that because that turns. Where did I put that? Oh yeah, it's the 20th anniversary of Remission in May. It's the 20th anniversary of their debut record, so I'll be bringing that up.
Excellent.
I just heard that cat.
Oh yeah.
That fucking cat.
He's still getting used to the apartment, which is 3 floors.
Yeah, to quote Corey Taylor, dude, that's really rad. That's rad.
Before I got a Bitburger, I found this at the store.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah,
and I was gonna bring it up because we saw Mastodon in 2014.
Yeah,
Rock and Ring, and this was what fueled us and kept us awake those 3 or 4 days.
Dude, that's
or the opposite. I was passed out for a good portion of it.
Yeah, man. Yemen. Yeah, I'm getting some fun messages for birthday and special day, man. Special day. This is the final episode I'm recording on this computer. Episode 88.
You got a new laptop coming in pretty soon, huh?
Yeah, I didn't order it. I didn't order it yet, but I had a text convo with Paul Dressel, and I told him what I'm looking for, and he says you will not be disappointed. Get the latest, which is a 2021. Get the latest MacBook Air 16-inch. That'll be good. But dude, it's 10:59 here. He's gonna join in, so totally having flashbacks, dude. Leaving the kitchen, I was like, it was gonna be a conversation, and this is it, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fucking funny too.
So cool to be here. Thanks for bringing me in.
Thanks for joining, dude. I think this is a new tradition. Next year, maybe we get Tobias.
Yeah. Tobias, do you have a lighter?
All right, Brann's here, dude. He's on his iPhone. You ready to rock?
Etimos, which means ready.
There he is. What's up, Brann?
Yo, what's up?
What's up? There he is. Let's go, Buffalo.
Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go.
What's up, Brann?
How's it going?
Cheers from Greece. Oh, he's got Buffalo on.
Are you in Greece?
Yep.
Yeah, where in Greece are you?
Usually in Athens, but now I'm on an island somewhere.
Oh, yeah? Hold on a second. All right.
Looking good, man. All right. Well, I'm here in Buffalo, and the other twin, the other half of the best Mastodon twin fans of all time, is in Athens, Greece. Ryan, I miss your ass. Come home, man. Move home.
I thought you were in Greece, New York.
Yeah.
No, not and not Athens, Georgia, because there's an Athens in Georgia.
It's true.
Well, we are right here, right now, on our day of birth. How special is that? Our 34th birthday, Brann. Thank you.
Wow, happy birthday.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
a little Liquid Death here, maybe a future sponsor. Hopefully, that'd be nice. And Ryan, I'm going to use this, even though I've never drinking water out of here. I'm going to just, fire it up.
I don't have anything to drink. I just have some Dr. Scholl's hydrating foot cream, some melatonin. Yeah, that's about it. I got some earplugs, a Crispin Glover book. I got Joey Jordison's in-ears case for Europe.
Heck, man. All right. R.I.P. Wow.
Rest in peace.
Well, cheers, dude. I mean, it's your birthday this month too, so you're turning 46 on the 18th.
47.
47. Looks 27. I don't know how you do it, man.
I'm not sure. I think it's just genetics, really, because I'm not really, I guess maybe in drumming as well helps a little bit.
Well, you're looking good, man. You're defying age. I really feel like that's true. I mean, we're 34. You were 34 when you recorded, released "Crack the Skye," man, and what a special record. And dude, that's how it all started for us, right? Isn't that correct? "Crack the Skye."
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Dude, it was Headbanger's Ball at 2 a.m. Jose Mangan introducing you, and we're in a garage apartment in Florida. We went to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we went to Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida. You ever been to St. Augustine before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Yeah, it was
Party.
Yeah, man. Fun 4 years there. But I'd like to start off with a fact of the day, a little musical fact of the day before we get into it, Brann. Stevie Wonder in 1974 won the Grammy for Best Vocals for Superstition. And I know you're a fan of all that kind of the R&B stuff and maybe some disco too, but you got a Grammy of your own coming towards you on April the 4th or April the 3rd, hopefully, for Pushing the Tides. Is it your year, man? Is it your year you get a Grammy?
I don't know. I really have no idea. I wouldn't think so. We won one a couple years ago, but so I'm good with that one. I would think, I don't know. I can't really call it this year. I have no idea. It's fun to go. Huh?
Where do you keep the Grammy? Do you keep it
It's downstairs
in the
on the
bathroom, or
It's in the bathroom. No, I'm not. It's in a place of honor. It's
Very cool.
right underneath my painting of Rocky Balboa.
Very nice.
It's our dad's favorite movie of all time. Do you have your wardrobe selected for the Grammys? I know you always like to bring all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, I have a couple things picked out.
Okay. All right.
I have something that's like reminiscent of a nudie suit, but it's not a nudie suit, but it looks kind of similar. But it's not as Western of a cut. So it's a kind of a regular suit, but it's all bedazzled and got all sorts of accoutrement.
Well, April 3rd, the 64th Grammys. We'll keep a lookout for that. Today, Bon Jovi is 60 years old. I got to ask you, were you ever a fan of that glam metal phase in the 80s, like hair bands, Motley Crue and shit?
Well, I liked Motley Crue, but I liked Motley Crue when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, 8 years old when Shout at the Devil came out. They were like Satanists, so I thought it was cool, But the hair stuff, I was not a fan of. I was firmly in the thrash metal club, Slayer, Metallica, everything, anything thrash. We were into death metal, and so all the hair metal that was for girls and not cool at all, and we hated it. Didn't like any of it. Probably secretly liked some of it, because they were just good songs, undeniably, but would never admit that openly when you're 14 and really trying to maintain a tough guy, cool image, where you only listen to Exodus and Testament and, bands like Atrocity, it got deep, Gothic Slam, Lost Rocket, Coroner, deep into thrash. So, yeah, no to my sister liked I remember Guns N' Roses, the Welcome to the Jungle video coming on, and seeing Axl Rose's hair all teased up, and I just was like, no, I don't like this at all. And then a couple months later, I think we were in the basement playing ping pong, and that was pretty much the only record we were listening to, was that whole Appetite for Destruction, because it was just a great album. There was no denying it. Listening to but Bon Jovi, was not a fan, but now they're just good songs. So, now the hits are the hits. So, but yeah, back then, no thanks. It was all about Slayer and Metallica.
Yeah. Well, you had those blonde locks as a kid, and if I remember correctly, I saw you with a few photos back then with Skye with the Peace of Mind Iron Maiden back patch and Judas Priest Screaming for Vengeance shirts, and you looked pretty badass, man.
Screaming for Vengeance, that video was awesome. I saw that just before. Great job.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I tried my hardest to. Man, it's hard. It's tough to sing. To try to get close to that, to what Rob does. He's just such a phenomenal talent, and just wow. We're lucky to have him in the world of heavy metal. I'll tell you that. I love Judas Priest, and I did my best. I got the outfit going, and I did my best. But man, it's tough.
Bravo.
Thanks.
Great job.
Yeah, you're a King Diamond fan too, and maybe we'll get to that later. You've got a really great falsetto. I could, 77. You do that really well too.
Thanks. Yeah, I've been practicing that since I was a little kid, or not a little kid, but I think I was 14 or so when I first heard King Diamond. 13. Used to go to this place in Rochester called the Lakeshore Record Exchange that was down by the lake, and the guy that worked in there was always cool and recommended things when we were buying tapes. He's like, you like Metallica, you like this, check this out and check this out. So it was always helpful to have a person like that at your local Headbanger record shop that would recommend things, because there was no, there wasn't really any other way to find stuff, and you didn't have the money to really take chances. When you get $1 a week for your allowance or whatever it was.
Yeah. Again, that's just a reminder that we got Brann Dailor here, heavy metal extraordinaire, drummer of Mastodon, a modern day Metallica, if you ask me, the modern day Judas Priest, this generation's you know, waving that flag for hard rock and heavy metal. Means a lot. Quote of the day. And before I get to that, I think you did an interview recently with Revolver, and I'm in real estate, and I could respect good wallpaper. I think you have Abraham Lincoln wallpaper in your house. Did I see that correctly?
Yeah, it's in the guest room.
Was that your call or Suzanne's? So what do you like about Abe Lincoln?
Like there's lots to like about Abe Lincoln. You know.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, it was a good movie. Well,
yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just some. I don't know. We wanted this like a 19th century guest room. So I felt like the 18th century was the nice, comfy, cozy bedroom there. So there's Abe Lincoln. There's a post-mortem painting of a woman that passed away from the Spanish flu with her husband present, and there's a bunch of Elephant Man art in there. So it's very, very 19th century in there.
Well, for guests, I'm sure they have really fun dreams. They get to explore back to those times, those simpler times. Sounds fun.
That's right. Yeah.
Quote of the day today: the best way to predict your future is to create it. And I'm here right now. This is a podcast born out of the quarantine for something to do. And I'm lucky, Ryan and I are lucky enough to connect with people that we admire. So, man, you've made a fabulous career, coming on 25 years almost of creating. And being it's our birthday, it was 1 year ago today, which I think, Ryan, we started a tradition here. Randy Blythe of Lamb of God, he came on for 2 hours, and we're not going to go 2 hours. Hey, whatever happens, happens. But we were at the Marriott, dude, downtown. Ryan came in from Greece, and we just shot the shit for a while. And one of the questions I asked him was, who's funnier, Brann Dailor or Corey Taylor? And he meant no offense to Corey Taylor at all. But, you know, in his own way, he said Brann's just, there's no one that beats that. Who's the funniest guy to you in the rock and roll community?
Funniest guy in the rock? Josh Homme, probably.
Yeah.
Josh is hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know. Every time I'm around him, he makes me laugh.
I could see that.
I'd say Josh, and then I'd say Brendon Small is pretty hilarious. He makes me laugh. I don't know. Yeah. Those two guys. Those are the funniest guys that I've probably come across. But there's so many. I mean, you know, a lot of being on tour, and there's a lot of downtime, obviously, and you're spend a lot of time just trying to make everybody laugh that's around you, because it just helps pass the time. So you get your comedy chops on tour, and you've spent a lot of time maybe listening to comedy. At least we did. We spent a lot of time listening, you know, to music, of course, but it was a nice break from the noise to just be in the van and listen to a comedy CD. So we did a lot of that, and we still quote a lot of the comedy CDs that we listened to in the early days of Mastodon driving around. So we have a great debt of gratitude towards people like Martin Lawrence for his Talking Shit CD. We listen to it all the time and quote it to this day. So yeah, it's pretty annoying to be around the four of us when we're all together, because it's a lot of inside jokes and a lot of, you know, 25 years of inside jokes and comedy CDs that we've been listening to, and we've folded into our vocabulary that we have around each other. So yeah, especially when we get around like photographers, if we're doing like a photo shoot, yeah, the jokes are flying. But as far as the two funniest guys in rock that I know, I'd say, yeah, Josh Homme and Brendon Small. I had to name two.
Right. Do you know who Brendon Smalls is? I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah. He plays guitar and is the vocalist for Dethklok. And he does a lot of the voices for on the Metalocalypse show. It's his show. And he did that show Home Movies as well. So I think he's first and foremost a comedian and a writer, you know, and then he kind of went in the back door for like music, you know. So like he had the cartoon first, and then the band got popular as a result of the cartoon being so great. And so yeah, he's a really funny dude, and you know, naturally he's a comedian.
Yeah, you guys in Mastodon, you really do the best interviews, right? Don't you agree?
For sure.
I mean, right? We have this twin intuition kind of thing where we can complete sentences. But right, what Mastodon interview am I thinking of right now that's not Brann?
Troy was talking about Groceries in one of them, I think a couple of years ago. I forgot. It was something. I forgot. During Once More Around the Sun tour, I think.
We've been on tour for a really long time, and you know, we miss our wives. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna have sex with my wife because we are around each other's farts all the time. And maybe tonight we're gonna get some groceries. I'm going to eat the groceries, and then I'm going to excrete them. Maybe sometime tomorrow. I mean, it's just shit like that, man. It's funny.
Yeah, we talk about once it gets to a certain point in tour, and we start asking each other if we're, you know, planning what do you got on the grocery list? Like, what's your first meal at home going to be, and what, you know, yeah, we talk about going to the grocery store, because when you're on tour, you can't go to the grocery store. You're not in charge of your own culinary, you know, you just can't, you're not cooking for yourself. So one of the things that we want to do the most is cook our own food. And that requires going to the grocery store. And when you get to go to the grocery store, when you've been on tour for 3 months, it's pretty fantastic. And a lot of people take it for granted because they just go to the grocery store every couple of days and stock up, or I don't know, you know, whatever your routine is. If you're a once a week coupon cutting human being, or you go there every single day to get whatever you're having for dinner that night. But it's definitely something that we in Mastodon look forward to when we're on the road, because you know, you're sort of at the mercy of what the catering is, which a lot of times is really good, but still you didn't have control over what was on the menu. So yeah, it's all about the groceries.
Yeah, the cool thing about today is it's our birthday, and we've got one of our all-time favorite vocalists, drummers, performers, right? I think one of our favorite performers is right here, right now with us. And the questions that we're asking you today, it's fun, you know. This is cool. Who does have the smelliest farts in the band? Brent Hinds.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
Number one with a bullet.
Okay. All right. Done. And
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't, you know, recently with the fart, I mean, when we were in the van, I'm not sure what was going on, but we used to just be like, dude, you got to go to the doctor. That is not good. That can't be good. That's bad. That's real bad. But I will say, you know, like, yeah. So that's really, we call it the fart box. I mean, everybody was, you know, it wasn't a great diet back then. I think I did a whole tour where all I ate was chicken wings every single day, just to like have another, like, it was like a side project, you know, that rode in tandem with the tour. I was like, I'm doing this. I'm eating chicken wings every single day. That's going to be my dinner for a whole month. So I must not have been smelling that great either.
We talking barbecue, medium, hot? What's your sauce?
Oh, medium, buffalo.
Medium. All right.
I don't really like to deviate. You know, like when people offer me lemon pepper, I'm like, get that shit out of here. I don't even want to know about it.
Okay.
I'm sure. Look, sure they're good. I'm sure I know that there's good, but I'm a traditionalist. You know, I like pepperoni pizza. I like medium buffalo style wings. You know, Frank's. I don't know. That's what I like.
Yep. Brann's from Western New York, very familiar with Buffalo. And I mean, if you were to come through Buffalo, or when you next do, I'll make sure no lemon pepper wings, or, you know, Lenovo teriyaki, or.
That's down here. Atlanta loves their lemon pepper wings. And I'm just not, I'm not, it's fine. I'll have one or whatever, but I'm not as deeply satisfied. It doesn't feel like I'm having like real wings, you know. I need to be dipping them in blue cheese, and yeah, that's, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. I mean, it's like a whole other thing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I just make my own, because there's no, I mean, I haven't found the spot in Atlanta, and people are excited about it. Atlanta wings. People that live here, they love them. You find chicken wing bones all over the damn city. People just throwing them out the window. But just, I don't know. I haven't found the spot. I had a spot a while ago, and I went in there. It was a place in town. I don't want to name names, but because the quality has fallen off. But I went in there and I had the wings, because I would try them. Just every people would be like, "Oh, you got to try the wings over at this place." I'm like, "All right, I'll try them. We'll see." And there was one place I went to, and I had them, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is legit. This is the real deal. It tastes like home." Turns out the cook was from Buffalo. Ooh. And I was like, "See,
okay,
that's why this is happening." And then I went in there one day, like years later, and had the wings, and I was like, "Uh-oh." And sure enough, he was not there anymore. I don't know where he went, but yeah.
Yeah, love it, man. Love it. Yeah, Lars, when he was on the teleprompter there before on Metallica's latest tour, when they came through Buffalo, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go have some chicken wings and grab some ranch." But he said ranch, and everyone booed. And to this day, I don't know if he was joking or yeah, man.
He must have been joking. He must have been trying to get a rise, because I do that to the fine people of Chicago. I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go have a hot dog and put ketchup on it, like you guys like," and they're lose their minds.
Yeah,
so, yeah, he must have been cracking wise. That Lars, he's funny.
Yeah. I want to ask you about Lars, but as far as the comedy stuff, Jim Carrey or Chris Farley, Brann, I'm curious.
I mean, both are very talented, one's not here, one's here. I'd say Chris Farley, just because I feel like I've laughed harder with Chris Farley, as much as I appreciate Jim Carrey and everything he's done. I appreciate his love for Andy Kaufman, his extreme love for Andy Kaufman, as I love Andy Kaufman. And I've loved, when I was a kid, I loved watching Living Color, and watching him do Fire Marshal Bill, and all his characters on that show were amazing. And then I appreciate him having Cannibal Corpse in his movie, and Buffalo Band. And I love Jim Carrey, and I love a lot of things that he's done, and I think he's hilarious. But Chris Farley had made me laugh way harder. Like like a lot of people, almost everything he's done or that he did was pretty hilarious. And yeah, love Chris Farley.
You're right. How do you feel about what you just heard there?
Pretty cool. Black Sheep is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. He walked past me one time on the street in New York when he was there doing Saturday Night Live. I lived in New York at the time with my dad, and he walked past me. So we're pretty much best friends.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Holy shit, there's the guy." He was kind of the new guy on Saturday Night Live at the time. So it was like, "Whoa, this is the new guy from Saturday Night Live. That's so cool." He hadn't done the stuff that he was going to do, but it was cool.
Yeah, whenever Ryan and I get together, it's Black Sheep. We're quoting that, and Beverly Hills Ninja and Tommy Boy, with no end. And we were like 10 seeing Black Sheep for the first time, and him rolling down the hill. That's what started us watching fail videos of people wiping out, and then Jackass comes out, and just the noises, the Mr. Onaker, and he gets hit in the tree, and just oh man, and Beverly Hills Ninja, dude, love that shit. Well, that's awesome. Had to ask about clowns while we finish up about the funny stuff. Why do you like clowns? Like, you wrote a book. Well, I mean, you didn't write a book. As I understand, in the pandemic, you drew, a clown every day. Why clown?
That's right. I initially, I just like the aesthetics of a clown. I think that, like, as far as my clown collection and the reason why I have a clown room was more so born out of collecting velvet paintings. So I think I was about maybe 17 or 18. Like when I had my first apartment, I got a big velvet painting of a tiger. And I had this, me and my girlfriend had this little apartment, and we had this one room where we dubbed it the Elvis room, you know, and we had like a close and play console record player. You could only listen to records from a certain era because we used to go thrift store shopping a lot and get like, you know, old school records based on their covers and go home and listen to them. And we had dartboard in there. And then we had this big, like super gaudy red velvet couch with like gold around it, and big Elvis lamp and an Elvis bust and a bunch of just a themed room, you know, which I always, I guess, have these like themed rooms because our kitchen was in the same apartment, was like this light blue with a dark blue stencil of a 9mm handgun like all over the walls, and then like pictures of different popes. So yeah, anyways, always been a fan of just like a themed room, you know, themes. I like themes. And so, you know, you got the 19th century room, and then you got the clown room, but the clown room was kind of born out of a lot of velvet paintings. You see a lot of clowns painted, and with the best of intentions. Some of them are painted, you know, they're kind of a cheap souvenir that you pick up in Tijuana. They got popular in the 70s. And so they're painted with some haste. And sometimes that haste produces a kind of a just creepy result, you know? And some of these clowns they just look really bizarre, you know? I think, yeah, and the haste of trying to create something fast and get it out there in a large volume. Some of the velvet paintings that you come across are not the best quality, and as a result are pretty amazing, you know. And so a lot of them are clowns, and so I started getting these clowns, you know, and they started sort of piling up, and then I was getting some of these some like paint by number clowns, and I think but I always liked clowns, you know. My grandfather was in the Shrine Circus when I was a kid, and we went there, my sister and I, when I was probably 6 and she was 5. And we got to sort of go backstage and see the clowns putting their makeup on. And so that was pretty wild for us. And I never was afraid of them. You know, I think that it's sort of like the Santa Claus thing, you know, it's when you're a little kid and you go to the circus and the clowns are, you know, for the kids, but some kids are just afraid of it. It's just a big goofy thing coming at them, and it's like, ah! But for me, I always thought it was funny and always liked the way they looked. And it kind of starts with aesthetics. They just look wild, you know, they just look all the crazy colors. And I also really like the fact that they do creep people out. You know, I guess there's something about my personality that is a little bit, you know, poke. And I like to pretend that I don't understand why they're freaked out. And, you know, it's nice to have somebody over that's really afraid of clowns and bring them into the clown room and watch them squirm a little bit, because there's no real danger there. You know, it's just a clown, you know. And I got the clown. I have a replica of the clown from Poltergeist on my bed. And that's especially for our age group, that's a real,
yeah,
you know, that's one of the clowns that really drove home that clown phobia for a lot of people. And, you know, so yeah, I don't know. I really, the real answer is I like the aesthetics. I like the fixed smile, you know, never trust anything with a fixed smile, you know, like dolphins.
Yeah.
Always smiling.
You're right.
Kev, I wish Kevin got the clown book that you did during the quarantine and the T-shirt from Brooklyn Vegan, I think is the site. But I was hoping that he was going to get it for today's showing to show.
Oh,
Kev,
right.
you'll be getting it in a few days.
It's Revolver, and I'm not sure that I've heard a few people say that they ordered theirs months ago and they're back ordered or something like that. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it came out really good. And
yeah,
it just was something I started doing, and with the whole, you know, being on lockdown thing, I just really dug into it, and it gave me something to do every day. And also was nice to, you know, during that time period to really like reach out to everybody in my life that, you know, past and present, that I have known or been friends with, and sort of start connecting with everybody on a daily basis with this clown picture, you know, which, you know, a lot of people would write me back and just be like, oh, I was looking forward to this. It became like a bright spot of some people's day. But it was just, and it was nice to sort of teach myself how to draw a lot of the like technical things, you know. And it was nice to be honest, it was nice to not really pay attention to Mastodon for a couple months, because I hadn't turned off Mastodon since it started, you know. So it was nice to sort of, not that I needed to get away from it, but I took the opportunity to do something else artistically, and just flex a different artistic muscle, I guess. And I'm really happy I did it. And I'm super stoked on the book. It came out really great. Revolver did a great job with it. And I was lucky enough to have some of my pals write little tidbits for the book about their experience, you know, receiving the clown every day. Like Lars is in there, and my buddy Skinner is in there, and Chino and Randy, Josh Homme and Sean Lennon. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, you mentioned Skinner, and he's a bit of an artist himself. I mean, this is one of the
yeah, he's ridiculous. He's a really incredible artist and a great friend. And yeah, I love that. Especially that side, the death side. Yeah, that's pretty. He's just out of this world. What a great.
When I was living in California, Brann, I had the flag just hanging in my kitchen next to the hot dog flavored water, and it's like watching The Shining or watching a movie. You know, you look at it and you could see something different every single time. Just craziness. Skinner's based out of Oakland. To our viewers, go check his shit out. I'll include a link below to some of his stuff, including Brann's clown book, which I still have to fucking get. So, yeah. No offense, Brann. I don't own it yet.
Oh no, it's okay.
All right. But yeah, we got Brann Dailor here, fellow Bills Mafia on I Ask No One. You know it. Your hair. I think your hair is awesome, man. I think your hair is great. I think you keep it on point. It's on point at all times. I mean, I try.
I've had this haircut since 1997, and I'd probably go into the ground with it.
Yeah. Well, no one rocks it better than you do. And it kind of is similar to how Ryan and I do our hair. We've had people come up to us thinking we're you. I mean, we'll have sunglasses on, whatever. And
a couple people.
I know, you know, for a sec, it's like, oh, this is how it feels to be, you know, Brann Dailor. You know, my God, Brann. And, you know, I took the sunglasses off. So I went with it one time, but that's it. The clown thing, as we finish this off, man, one of the most interesting, weirdest venues I've ever seen a band was a place called Big Top Luna in Sydney, Australia. And I saw Mastodon and Gojira there. And I love, by the way, speak from a fan point of view, and I'm sure I feel the same sentiment as all of the fans of your band. You coming out to the microphone at the end of each show just to shoot the shit is one of the coolest things that a band could do. So, you know, just giving your showing your thanks and maybe a little bit of Brann bullshit. But one of the things that you mentioned, because this venue was surrounded by like this circus kind of thing, and you had like clown pictures here and there, and it's nighttime, and it's like I feel like I'm in a old Scooby-Doo episode that I'm about to get like grabbed on. But you're like, just real casually, hey, when you're leaving, make sure no clowns slit your throat. All right, see ya. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, a thing to watch for, you know, when you're leaving anywhere, you know, anywhere in the world. You don't want that. You don't want to get your throat slit anyways, but you don't want a clown to do it, that's for sure. But yeah, that was a really awesome day. I had no idea what was around that corner, you know. I was like, oh, you're playing this, it's like a little carnival amusement park kind of place. I was like, yeah, cool. Ride some rides, it'll be fun. And then we get in there and there's clowns everywhere. I was like, yes. It was a great day. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was amazing, man. What a few weeks that was. First time in Australia, sick. I got a poster of that show, so that'll be behind glass in my new home sometime soon. Is Mastodon ever going to release a clown themed song or record?
I doubt that. Okay. You know,
maybe it's like
the clown thing is sort of, you know, this is just me, you know, that's not, you know, I mean, I think Brent likes clowns, and there's nobody in the band that's afraid of clowns or anything like that, but I can't see, you know, we did the Blood and Thunder video, and I think that's probably as far as it will go, you know. Maybe there'll be a t-shirt at some point, but I don't know. I don't think it really fits into our thing. So that's cool. I'm cool just having it for me, and you know. Yeah.
Was always curious about that. And hey, we're all learning some more about Brann Dailor. This is pretty damn cool. You got your tooth. When was that put in, Brann?
Let's see. I want to say 2002 or 3, 2003, I don't know, somewhere in there. Early 2000s. I had when I first moved to Atlanta, I got a job at a place called Jumpin's Daughter here, and it's like a big hipster mart, sort of big, crazy, one of those crazy stores that's in the cool neighborhood in town. It's in Little Five Points, and you know, it's been there for 30 something years. And anyway, when I first moved to Atlanta, I only had a couple $100. I had enough money for my first month's rent at my apartment with Bill and Julianne, and I didn't have a car or anything, so I was walking distance from this place. I went up there and I saw everybody that was working there had like tattoos and stuff, and so I was like, I can get a job here. So I filled out like an application, or I gave them a resume or something like that. Anyway, I was working there for like a week or so, a couple of weeks, and I was getting something out of the ceiling, and this big metal pipe came down and smashed me in the lip here. So I had to go get a stitch, and they're like, you need to go to the dentist and see if there was any damage to that tooth. And sure enough, there was. And so I had to have the tooth replaced, and I went with the silver because I thought it would look cool. I don't know. I'm trying to look cool. I'm trying to fool people into thinking that I'm cool. So I have to like get, you know, external gear. You know, I get to do my hair cool and try to wear a cool t-shirt and get a silver tooth, and then maybe I can fool people into thinking I'm a cool person.
You're right. Do you think Brann's doing a good job at that? Do you think he's cool?
Yeah, and I think, Brann, you did. I think when you had the Cream Ale Instagram thing, or maybe you had the Mastodon Rocks account up, but you went live at one point. And I remember I luckily just was on the platform, and I jumped in to see. And I think some girl said, called you like very sexy or something. And you're like, oh, me sexy? And I just thought, that's my random comment of the day.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to think of yourself as being cool or sexy or anything like that. You know, you kind of, I don't know. No, I don't know if there's people out there that think of themselves in that way, but I'm not one of them. So I don't know. I'm just over here hanging out. I'm just trying to make it like everybody else.
We got
but you know, you do little things to try to fool people to think that you're a cool person, and so that's one of them. But anyways, I did. So, and then here's my line. You know, I'll say like, I don't truly believe this, but I thought it was funny. And I say, because the dentist was like, no, we'll put a porcelain tooth there and it'll look just like the rest of your teeth. And I was like, no, that's bullshit. I've seen these porcelain teeth. It always looks a little bit different from the rest of the teeth, and I can tell right away that it's fake. And so I don't want to start every single conversation that I'm having with a lie, you know? And so put the silver one there so everyone knows that that's not my real tooth. And she didn't laugh. And my dentist was really against doing this. Like, she did not want to do this. She did not want to put a silver. She's like, I'm not putting silver tooth up front like that. I'm like, why not? It looks cool, I thought. I mean, and she was against it. We're in different. She's a dentist, you know, so thinks that, you know, your teeth should all look like they're your teeth, or I don't know what the thought is behind it. Why wouldn't you think that a silver or gold tooth up front is? I was like, it's the perfect opportunity to put something cool there. I mean, look at Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean. He's got like a silver tooth right there. Boom, very cool. You know, it's like 10% hotter somehow. So, you know, that's, I don't know. Anyways, there you go. It's the same one since then. And she's always amazed that it still is holding up. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, so one day it's gonna have to replace it. But for the time being, there it is. I don't really think about it. Sometimes I'll take a photo and the light catches it the wrong way and it looks like I don't have a tooth there. So I look like I'm toothless, which is a nice Cole Beasley look, I guess.
Yeah, bees nuts. All right.
Yep.
Shit. Well, you've had the same dentist since 2002. You know, this is cool stuff that we're learning about you. And did Josh Homme copy you? Did he want to be cool like you? Is that why he got his tooth done?
I don't know, but you know, we're part of that club.
Yeah.
Me and Josh and Bootsy Collins and our tour manager Tim Moss. Yeah, got a silver tooth up there.
That's funny.
It's a club, so
yeah.
But you know, you gotta earn it. You gotta take a metal pipe to the face.
That's metal. Yeah, the hoop earrings, the hair, everything, man. Seriously, dude, and Ryan will agree, right? I mean, you're fanboy moment here. You're one of the coolest motherfuckers on the planet. So there you go. I
appreciate you thinking that.
Yeah, and the fact that clowns have straight faces that don't move, that's a really funny thing you mentioned, because you signed this guy atop the Fox Theater in Pomona, California in 2014 with, Gojira signed it in Mastodon. So, Brent, he grabbed it and threw it across the roof after posing a picture with it. Red hair. I was like, oh, this is great. They're color coordinated. And I don't know, he just, he chucked that thing. And
yeah, you gotta watch out for those gingers.
Yeah.
They're wild.
Yeah. Yeah, strawberry blondes or gingers, you can't really tell the difference sometimes.
It comes out in their personalities.
Yes, absolutely.
Wild. I got a little bit. If I grow my sideburns out, you see the wildness.
Yeah. Are you a ginger, Brann?
Secret ginger.
That's secret.
Well,
yeah, mostly blonde. I was like a towhead my whole life, but you know, it's one of those, you know, like you start to, if I grew my beard out, there'd probably be a little bit of ginger in it. But I can grow a full beard, but I don't like to do that.
Yeah. Well,
it's my face starts itching like crazy and I break out and acne and stuff. So I just shave it. Be clean shaven. Everybody gets all excited about people that have their beards out. It's like they just didn't shave. It's way easier. I gotta do this every day. Johnny Chow?
Johnny Chow's got a huge beard.
Oh yeah, I know. I went to a Bills game with him.
Monday night game, Pats, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. That was dumb. It was so fucking cold and the wind was insane. Oh my God.
One of these days, dude, just, you come hang out at our tailgate and love to, we got the whole corner there right at lot 7. And, that night I had a 4-pack of these, these lovely Savage Lands Master. And at 7%, to cap these off after, maybe 6 to 10 blue lights.
Yeah, you're starting, you're getting into a zone there. That's a zone. You might, savage. You might turn into a savage. But there's a lot of savages at the Bills game.
There are a lot of savages.
It's mostly savages, really.
Yeah.
Savages, snowmobile suits.
Yeah, what happens there stays there, and some of it ends up on TV. Maybe an object will sometimes end up in the end zone, which I don't know. We're all of a sudden associated our Bills Mafia with, flinging up, something like that. But yeah, Johnny Chow, we're going to be there. Ryan, you're invited, dude. Hopefully you get back from Greece, Mr. Ass. Saturday night we'll be at Masuda Chow's with Johnny, so I'll tell him you said what's up.
Yeah, tell him I said hi. I can't wait to come back next season. Maybe go. I want to go to a game that's not as not like biblical weather. I mean, 50, 60 mile an hour winds. Like, oh my God, I thought it was, yeah. And then we should win the game. That would be better.
Well, that was some nice redemption we had in the playoffs there against them. Holy crap, that was amazing. But you're totally.
I watched that game again the other day just because it was like Sunday. I was alone and I was like, I'm gonna watch that whole game again and just watch it. Just bask in the glory of that total beat down. It was
on
fun.
YouTube. I'll have to check it out.
No, I recorded it on my DVR, so I just have it. Yeah, I have that one, and I have the Tampa game, which I also like to watch because I watch the first half, and you're like, God, are we just rolling over right now? And then they came out in the second half and like just owned it. I'm like, oh, I like to see the transformation. I like to see where Josh just flipped the switch and said, I'm not letting this happen, and just took the game over. Anyways.
Yeah, Ryan watches the games out there, and I think it's like, these night games, Brann, we got to get used to it because our team is badass. It's really, really good. We're gonna be playing these primetime games, and sometimes it's like 4 a.m. where Ryan's watching the game. But go Bills, man, go Bills. I mean, I got the jersey up there for a reason, and Josh Allen's face at the end there.
Fuck the Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs.
That was really heartbreaking because it was such a roller coaster. I mean, I know everyone's like, that's the greatest game ever played. I mean, I just can't say that, but because the result, but I don't know. Yeah, it was amazing.
Good future for sure.
Dude, just the ups and downs, totally hear you there, Brann. Like, my fiance and I were right over there, and she was sitting down, and somewhere in those last 2 minutes, I couldn't contain myself. I just went and tackled her, and I think I hit her lip. Oh, and she was good. She was good. She was all right. Oh my God. And then it's just like that. And I think this is really going to help us. I mean, I said that before when Deshaun Watson and that guy, DeAndre Hopkins, that wide receiver, like they handled us. Chiefs handled us for redemption. We're in Arrowhead. We got them. I really feel like Josh Allen, people talk about it all the time on ESPN, and just the progression that he's been is just, and you see it, he's less deer in headlights now. He's more downhill. He's jumping over guys. And I feel like when that time comes, man, he's going to come through for us in some red zone.
I think that I really believe that there will be, the Bills are going to the Super Bowl with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's that's happening. I fully 100% believe that. There's no way that dude is not going to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? He's just, That's happening. So I can't wait to watch it. I'm fucking going wherever it is.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
I have the pain of the early 90s, you know. I smashed a football cake. It's a very famous story in my family of me punching a football cake after Norwood, after the wide right. That my aunt's best friend, her name is Lori Frankunas, and she brought a football-shaped cake to the Super Bowl party. And as soon as it sailed wide right and we lost, I went over and punched the cake. And my aunt texted me after the 13 seconds, which is the new wide right, apparently. She's like, "Did you punch a cake?" I'm like, "No, there were no cakes here to be punched, but I do have a Norwood jersey to send my my uncle if we get back."
You ever see those Norwood jerseys where it's the wood is kind of okay? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little trivia, testing your trivia there for you.
I have a Norwood shirt with Norwood on the back. I wear it. You know, I have a outfit for pretty much every Sunday or every game. I have a full on crazy outfit with a crazy hat, and basically just to make members of my family laugh. You know, I just send it to my aunts and uncles and stuff because I know they're all watching. I got light up glasses and the whole poobah hat and the giant. You know, it's pretty fun. My Bills fandom and all my gear. I've bought some ridiculous shit just to make my aunts and uncles laugh, like capes and all sorts of crap.
You wear a cape when you're watching
the chicken wing hat?
Huh?
I was gonna say, do you have the chicken wing hat? There's like a chicken wing hat you can get.
Oh yeah.
I don't. But probably next season I'll get one. Add it to the pile. I got feather boas and all sorts of stuff.
Go Bills. Go Bills. I've never owned 3 jerseys of anyone, but I got the blue, the white Allen, and I got the Salute the Troops one. It's just back there. Hell yeah. The wide right, Ryan and I were 2 or 3, and there's a home video of us just sitting there. And, you know, he had my dad's cousin with the mullet, you know, and my dad's there when he had hair. When it happened, it was just, I remember our arms went down like this, and Ryan and I are just, you know, we're chilling. We're hanging out.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on, but yeah, it's. Oh.
Yeah, the roller coaster of being a Buffalo Bills fan. I think that's so awesome that one of our all-time favorite bands, finding out that you're a Bills fan was pretty damn cool, especially last year when you click above for the episode from last year when the Bills played the Chiefs, the lead up to the AFC. That was fun. That was really sweet. Yeah, but we got Brann Dailor here. Brann, do you know how to make holy water? I just have to ask you. Do you know how to make holy water at all? You boil the hell out of it.
You boil it, and it needs to be blessed by a priest. I would imagine there has to be a priest involved somehow.
Another dad joke for you. I just have to drop these on you. I just
boil the hell out of it.
I was running in the cemetery, Forest Lawn Cemetery. If you've never been in Forest Lawn Cemetery, it's a sprawling, beautiful cemetery here in Buffalo. It's a really great walk, especially in the fall time. But it was just so noisy. I was like, why are cemeteries so noisy? It's just because of all the coughing.
Yeah.
Brann, you got any dad jokes on you?
That was a good one.
Man, not on me at the moment.
Right.
I'm more of off the cuff dad joke. You know, I'll make a dad joke and somebody would be like, "That's a dad joke." And I'm like, no, I thought it was a regular joke. You know. So.
Okay.
But I know there's one, but it's like there's one that's it's situational. You know, you have to be looking at you know, formation of Canada geese. They always fly in this V, and so you look up you're with your friend, you're with the person that's with you, and you look up and you say, "Hey, you see those Canada geese?" And there's always seems to be more on one side, than the other side.
Yeah.
And kind of like you're going to explain to them why there's more, why the V is longer on the one side, or why there's, and the reason is because there's one more bird on that side. So it's situational. It has to be, you have to be in that moment. So just the next time you see the V formation of Canada geese, try to pretend like you're about to drop some knowledge on your friend and disappoint them with a dad joke instead.
And then I'll credit Brann Dailor after delivery.
Sure, if you want.
And that's right. That's exactly who we have on here, this here podcast. Brann Dailor, a drummer of Mastodon. And to our viewers, if you're finding any value, I'm sure you're finding a lot of value the past hour of really good stuff, man. Hit a like, subscribe. I really, really appreciate it. And just like Lars says at the end of every Metallica show, we're just getting fucking started. So love it. Man, I just have to ask you, Ryan and I are big fans of The Mummy, 1999, Brendan Fraser. That's another movie we quote a lot. It came out recently that you have a tattoo of an ancient Egypt tattoo. Can you show that to us? Oh, shit. Right, see that?
King Tut.
It's very metal of you, man.
Bad fucking ass. I got
it a long time ago. That's from the 90s. It's from the 90s. Let's see. When did I get that? Probably like 93. Back when I was in lethargy.
Yeah. What was the motivation there?
Mastodon's got to do a show in Egypt, like Chili Peppers.
Oh, I'd love to play in Egypt.
Oh man, imagine that. Imagine
right
Mastodon.
South of where I'm at right now. Hour flight. That'd be sick.
I went there for a couple weeks. Like 2000. When was that? 2006 or 7, maybe somewhere around there.
By the way, Brann, I hit up Greg from Greece. You probably remember Greg from Greece, who showed you, I think, Athens. And I told him about how my brother kind of surprised me as a kind of a birthday gift to be a fly on the wall, deer in headlights on his show. And he said hello. So,
what's up, Greg? Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah, we hung out with him a lot. Great guy. He showed us all around. Greece, one of our favorite places to play. Yeah, I love Greece.
Any reasons why you like Greece compared to other countries in Europe, maybe?
Well, there's a history aspect, obviously. You go see all the ruins of the Parthenon, the Acropolis, and just it's. But really, it's just the fans there. They're just you're always going to have a great show when you play in Greece. The fans are wild, and they're just wild, and so it just makes you feel good. There's a lust for life there that's hard to deny, and it's there's other parts of the world that the people are a little more reserved, and they're just not. Like, it just reminds me of South America. The people are just So when you're playing music and everyone's going absolutely bonkers, it makes you feel good. So you want to go back for more.
When you come back, I'll try to get front row, like I usually try to do with Mastodon shows. But lately, I'm being too much of a pussy to wait in line forever and do the mosh pit shit. So I just park my ass in the back.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm not getting up there on the bar anymore. I'll be at the bar in the back.
Good one. Yeah, Ryan and I have seen you in both hemispheres. We've seen you in numerous continents. And one of those countries that we saw you in 2014 was Germany at the Rock am Ring. You guys came out at like midnight. Hey, Ryan, you remember that shit? They what they played there that was fun. Sparrow? Yeah, they finished with Sparrow there.
That's why I have this beer. I saw this at the store in Greece here, and I got a Bitburger, which I saw was one of the more memorable concerts with Mastodon. I had to get a Bitburger because Brann. Let's hear. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salud.
A little early for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That was like a pillow and a blanket set where most of the audience was leaving because the show was over, but we were playing like the wave goodbye, you know. Well, I mean, there was people that watched us as well, but it was, I saw this mass exodus of people just been there all day long, and they were like, but Metallica just finished, and they're like, yeah, but Mastodon's going to play too. We waited around all day to do that, man. Yeah, it's cool though.
Yeah,
Kev, that was right after you did the High Road video as a musketeer, right? You had a fucking musketeer costume on, I think.
Fuck. Yeah, I was gonna put my musketeer hat on. It's in the other room. I was gonna wear in the blue. I completely slipped my mind. But at that show, Brann, I threw on my musketeer hat from the High Road music video, and I went up to the front. I'm trying to, get your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
video. That was cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite videos that we've done.
Really? How so?
Cool.
I just like the storyline of it, I kind of came up with the basic synopsis, and then myself and the director, we went back and forth on some stuff, and he sort of fleshed everything out and figured out how to make it all work logistically. And so I like it when a plan comes together, and I think that the emotional aspect of the video of that little short story sort of actually worked and played out the way that we wanted it to, which doesn't always happen. And so I just like the spirit of it, I guess. I like that.
Yeah, it was a really fun day. I've never sword fight in my life. There was a few people there that have, and I would go for the same move every time, and they would do this and they'd whack me, and it was kind of hurting. I mean, I had bruises and everything from all the sword fighting, but it was lunchtime, it was lunch break, and I was in the business too, and film and TV work out there, and I was working with Chef Wolfgang Puck at the Hotel Bel Air, and chasing my dreams out there, being an LA dreamer. But yeah. Everyone was over here having lunch. There's this older fella who was just sitting on this plant area, and I just grabbed a slice of pizza and went over, shooting the shit. He's the old guy that was hitting the nerd, and it turns out that he was in the business, in the acting business for a very long time, so long back that when he was in New York City, Pacino stayed in his basement as a young aspiring actor, and today they're still buddies, and there's a little link to Scarface there in the High Road music video.
Whoa, sweet.
Yeah. So that was a really cool experience. Going back to the touring though, are there tours that, I mean, you guys have Once More Around the Sun, We Go Again. I mean, you guys are Once More Around the Sun, it seems like all the time. And yeah, this pandemic, you're finally able to take a break, enjoy, be in the moment. But are there tours that stand out to you? Maybe the craziest tour, Ozfest, or I know Dirk Verburen had some funny things to say about you from back when recently.
Me?
Yeah.
It was kind of a blur, the Ozfest. Although I remember, the best thing about it for me was watching Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath every night. It was at some point in the evening, it's time to beer up and walk out front to watch Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath. I watched it every night, and I couldn't believe the amount of people that weren't doing that, that were on the second stage or whatever, and just hung out in that parking lot. And Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath are playing, and there's, you may watch them a couple times in the tour. I'd rather hang out in this parking lot. You're crazy. I'm watching Iron Maiden every single night. So that was awesome. Yeah. I say that one. That's the Slayer tours that we did. The Slayer Slipknot tour was our first arena, tour, big tour, and just that was exciting because we'd never played venues that size before, and there was some intimidation there because we weren't sure how we were going to be received by the Slayer fans, notoriously booing opening acts off the stage and whatnot. So we didn't know what to expect. But the first show, I think it was maybe Manchester, I'm not sure, somewhere in the UK, came out open with Iron Tusk, and the whole floor was just bouncing up and down. We're like, oh shit. So it was pretty fun. And we were well received and made really good friends with some of the Slayer guys and the Slipknot guys, namely, Joey and myself really hit it off and became close friends at that point, and remained good friends up until he passed away last year. So yeah, that was a wild one. And then I'd say the Slayer, the tour we did with Slayer, Children of Bodom, Lamb of God, and Thine Eyes Bleed. That tour was pretty crazy. It was like a Jaeger tour, and it's a lot of Jaeger. Yeah, it was painful. Made good friends with Carrey King on that tour in particular. We hung out a lot and, had a lot of Jaegers together. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of like the bands I grew up listening to that I would never think that we were going to ever tour with or meet. In particular, the Metallica tours that we did. So I did pretty much all the tours that I ever wanted, Tool, Metallica, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath, Judas Priest,
Primus.
Primus, Clutch. Been on a lot of tours. With lots of bands that we love and respect, and we've been super lucky to have been able to go on all those and make friends with some of our heroes. And yeah, there you go. It's been a charmed life.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Yeah, I mean, just right here, right now, and I think about it, and I think about it other times. The universe, time. We are existing right here, right now, in the same time as Mastodon and Metallica and all these creative forces is something to really, appreciate. And just talking about venues, I got to ask you: is there Mastodon and on one of those early tours? Is there the weirdest venue you've ever played? Did you guys play a church or a sewer?
Aquarium.
We've played some churches. Yeah, we played some churches. We played an Italian restaurant. We played a China buffet that was like closed, but they were still they had like the light up sign of like Hong Kong in the background. That's like the backdrop. I remember before we started, it was in Binghamton. It's like a famous Binghamton, it's like lore there that we played there, and it was just a wild show, There was a band called Lick Golden Skye that played with us. And before we played, there was, hold on. What? We got to turn the sign on. Turn it on, lights up. So it's the skyline of Hong Kong. And so that was very important that be lit up before we played. And the whole time there was this group of guys that were dressed up like 70s, like gym teachers or something, with like fake mustaches and whistles and shit. And they had this little football, and they were trying to like jump over like we were the defense, and the people on the very front were the offensive line, and they were the running backs trying to jump over the O-line and get the football past the pedal boards, and they would celebrate their touchdown every time they did it. Which was just very bizarre. I've never seen anything like it. And then that happened at that it's a China buffet. We played there. There was an Italian restaurant. We played a lot of weird. We played a women's outreach center at Yale University. Yep.
Did you open up with Iron Tusk at that show?
No, Mother Puncher.
Mother Puncher.
Fuck
You've
yeah.
got such a memory. I think, is that a drummer thing? I mean, you have a memory of every show.
No, I was just making a women's outreach joke, which was not good.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's funny.
We probably close with Mother Puncher, actually.
Love it. Yeah, it's the 25th anniversary coming up for the band, and it's the original member. You know, you guys are the original members. Is it really split down?
Last time I looked.
What's that?
The last time I looked, yeah, it's the same guys.
That's special. It's very, very commendable and admirable. Is it really? I mean, you guys are a band. You got multiple vocalists. You got guys writing all sorts of different riffs and lyrics and passages and waters and so on. In the when you guys collaborate, like, is it? I could imagine it's all four of you guys in a room, you know, bouncing ideas back and forth with each other.
Sometimes,
yeah,
you know, it's collaborative more so out of laziness, really. Nobody wants to do it all by themselves. No, it's hey, I need help with this. No, it's cooler when it's multiple, when it's more people involved. I think it's more fun. It's why you want to be in a band in the first place, because you want to like share those responsibilities and see if you can make your song cooler by adding somebody else's ideas into it. Now I know there's a lot of people that aren't into that, like they want to have control over something and no, it needs to be like this. But I think it's a good way to exist, artistically, let your mind be open to someone else's interpretation. It could maybe make it better, and that's been our experience, at least, has been that the music, I feel like, has, it's better sometimes when you let somebody else in to contribute. And a lot of times it's needed, it's necessary, you kind of get stumped sometimes, and you get like a couple ideas together and you don't know where to go with it. So it's nice to have somebody else to come in and sort of alleviate some of that, and improve something, or say, oh, I never thought of it like that, or, so I think it's just a good practice for, maybe everyday life, how to approach your life with other people in it, and just keep your mind open to other ideas. And yeah, it's I think it's a good thing that the four of us, we know each other really well. We know who, by the smell of each other's farts, who it is, so that's when you really know that you know someone.
It's true.
When you get their particular bouquet and you know who it is, you're like, oh, that's Troy's flavor.
You taste it. Yeah.
It's shit mist. It's called shit mist. And so, yeah, I guess it's a source of pride that we're the same four dudes the whole time. Well, we had a standalone singer for a little while, but Eric Insaner. I love Eric, and I kind of grew up with him. We were friends when we were kids, went to the same grade school. But he's tattooing now and living his life, doing his thing. But but it's the same four dudes for quite a while. And yeah. I can't imagine Mastodon with another person in it. But maybe that day will come at some point where somebody that's in the band now doesn't want to be here anymore, or wants to pursue something else or do something else, which would be fine if that was the case. I don't, you never want to try to force someone to be in a situation they don't want to be in. But for the time being, we all seem to be relatively happy with the situation. And every time it's time for us to come together as a group, we don't have any problem, getting in a room and playing our songs and going out on tour and having a good time doing it.
It's hard to believe that it's 20 years since your first studio record and is coming up in May. So Remission. Ryan, thanks for this. Ryan got this for me for Christmas once, and I got some gold. Yeah. And,
nice.
Dude, I think you played Trilobite in Australia at that show with the purple lights. Oh shit, I forgot I had this too. Yo, your vocals on this White Walker thing with the Game of Thrones was so good.
Oh, thanks. Thank you.
Red Death too, the comic one, the Red Death song. I really liked.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
They come down. Dude, your vocal, you've really. I think of Dry Bone Valley when the first song, Black Tongue, you go from the record Crack the Skye and then Black Tongue drops and you hear Troy Sanders just coming in, just the vocals are right there with Troy. And then Dry Bone Valley, probably my second favorite Mastodon song, favorite Mastodon record, Taylor Bingley's favorite Mastodon record too, by the way.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I always like to hear that. People kind of poo-poo that record, but I really like it.
Yeah. And right, remember Toronto and the Sony Performing Arts Center where you really had to piss outside the show and you were in the car and you turned over to the side and you went to the bottle and someone was getting out of their car and you remember that shit? Yeah.
I do.
Talk about it.
Yeah, that was Mastodon, Ghost, and Opeth. That was really fun. But as far as vocal influences go, Brann, anyone jumping out at you that I know you like Halford and King Diamond and Hetfield.
Ozzy.
Ozzy.
I'd say Ozzy and David Bowie and Peter Gabriel, Stevie Wonder.
Very superstitious.
Yes, very superstitious. Yeah, I'd say those guys. You know, I find myself like I feel like there's a lot of Ozzy in there that's like subconscious. You know, just because I grew up listening to so much Ozzy, I really like his inflection and just the way that he sings and the way that he'll, you know, I like the aesthetics of the words that are chosen for him to sing and the way that he vocalizes, the way that he lays his phrasing, you know, the way that he lays his phrasing over the top of a riff or something. I feel like I sort of emulate that without even knowing a lot of times. And yeah, so I think, and it just comes down to being, you know, 8 years old and putting those early Ozzy records on in my room and singing along, you know, and just sort of training myself along with Ozzy.
Diary of a Madman. Are there any Ozzies that jump out to you right now from the early days?
Mr. Crowley, you know.
Nice. All right.
All you get.
There it is. All right. Well, yeah, again, we have Brann Dailor here. Just a few more questions. You know, what was your show? What was your Metallica played Moscow 91 in September there, and that was their show. That was the big show. Is there a show that stands out to you in Mastodon lore that was just the biggest, baddest? You probably haven't played it yet, but in your career to this point, any show that stands out to you?
There's so many, you know, and there's some that probably at the time were like, oh my God, that show. And then they're just boop, gone. But I can remember playing in Portugal in 2006, I think. And we were opening it was a Metallica, it was a festival, but man, the place was just going bonkers for us. And so it was very exciting whenever that happens. Usually we confuse people. So it's always nice when a large group of people is they're all on the same page with us, you know. I'd say that on the Slipknot Slayer show that we played in Paris at the Zenith Arena was like people were freaking out, so that was great. Yeah, I don't know.
Nice. Well, good enough for me, good enough for us. Shit.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah. I mean, there's interviews in the past where you talk about the fans' face, like, you know, what is this Mastodon stuff?
We call it showing a dog a card trick, which is a Bill Hicks reference.
Bill Hicks. I think we're dating ourselves here, right? Right. Do you know who Bill Hicks is?
don't.
Okay.
He's a famous comedian who unfortunately passed away. I think Tool actually dedicated Anima to Bill Hicks.
Okay.
So get into the comedy because it's still relevant today.
Yes, Martin Lawrence.
Listen.
Martin Lawrence, I know is what was that movie? Bad Boys or something? Or
Martin Lawrence, the album to get is Talking Shit, but on a different end of the spectrum and more like socially conscious commentary would be Bill Hicks. So I'll get into Bill Hicks. Check it out.
Okay. Well, yeah, Moscow 91, that was Metallica. Black Album just had its 30th anniversary. Metallica, I was there. Ryan was there in spirit. The 40th anniversary in SF. The Black Album, when it came out, did you like it back then? I know you were a metalhead in the 80s, but how did that hit you when it came out, Brann?
It was everywhere, you know. And I thought it was good. I just wasn't really listening to much Metallica, I guess, or I was still listening to I'm not sure. I was listening to some different stuff at that point in time. I think I was like 16 or so, and I discovered Mr. Bungle, which sort of led me down a trail of like Praxis and Material and Coil and just a lot of just different stuff. Tom Waits, I was getting into that a lot. I was listening to Death, Human, Cynic, Atheist. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, I had just started getting into a little bit more different stuff at that point in time. Bjork, I think, was something I was listening to a lot. Yeah, so I was kind of wasn't really listening to the new Metallica at the time. So the Black Album, I mean, it just was unavoidable. There was no way that you were going to be able to avoid Enter Sandman, you know, so you were going to know that one regardless of what, you know. I don't think there's anybody that could have escaped it, you know. So that was definitely there, and it was cool to see them win a Grammy and everything. And I was still excited for them, you know, because I know that they had been just road dogs and been out there just killing it for years and years and years. And finally it was like they were just massive, you know, just huge. And they went on that tour with Guns N' Roses, and it was just the biggest thing in the world, you know. But I really had sort of tucked into this whole other corner of music and was going in a different direction at that period of my life, you know.
Yeah,
I was just listening to some really weird, just avant-garde noise, and you know, I'd gotten into like the Boredoms, and yeah, so I was listening to some grindcore, like Enemy Soil, and just really weird music and stuff that not a lot of people were into or liked, you know. Got into I don't know, just like 1930s cartoon music and just all sorts of weird stuff that I was listening to. A lot of Cocteau Twins as well. I'd start getting into like early 4AD record stuff. This Mortal Coil. Yeah, lots of that kind of stuff. And that's when the Black Album was out, you know.
Right.
And so Black Album for me was like over here, you know, and it was doing its thing, and everybody had become this major like mainstream thing, and I wasn't like anti that record at all, you know. I just didn't really, it wasn't really on my personal radar what I was into at that moment in time. Years later, I got into it, you know. I mean, you know, almost every song on the record was on the radio at some point. It was one of those albums, you know, like the first Boston record or something, you know. Just no way to avoid hearing it. But you know, Nothing Else Matters, I think, is one of the great rock songs of our time, and it's really beautiful. And I think there's some great songs on there. And really, I've watched that documentary of the making of several times. I watch it all the time on tour. It's something I can put on and just leave it on if I'm in my hotel room and missing home or something. I just will hang out with Metallica basically and look and watch that documentary, because it's really, I think it's really great, you know, watching a band that doesn't know they're about to become the biggest band in the world, earnestly making their album, you know.
Yeah, that's very true. I recently had a conversation with the director of that DVD, Adam Dubin. He's going to be on the show soon, and this is going to be awesome. But you mentioned,
oh, cool.
Yeah, nice guy. But you mentioned the Cocteau Twins and all these other bands that you're listening to around that time, and you got to play with them. You got to tour with them. Slayer, Slipknot, well, Slipknot newer, but Metallica. Any advice that Lars or James has given you that you carry to this day when you hit the road or in your business dealings with Mastodon?
I don't know. You learn whether you like it or not. You learn from touring with those bigger bands. You know, you just learn how to conduct yourself, and you learn how to execute a show. You know, yeah, you kind of show up like you don't even realize how green you are when you get there initially. And then, you know, over time, from playing with these bigger bands, you learn how to do your set, you learn how to fit your thing into a 40-minute slot and make it work. You learn how to be fast in between songs, basically. You know, you learn that you pick your moments when you speak to the audience or not, or you just go for it and play the whole, and just, so I'll say like that, you know, but I don't know, you know, hung out a lot with Lars, you know, like just backstage, or I even went to his house one time and hung out, and just a great guy. You know, I feel like he kind of got a bad rap, you know, not only just the Napster thing. I think people just have the wrong idea about him. You know, he just is a real sweet guy and real nice dude, and super funny and super smart and very intelligent about art and music. He's like a total music nerd. He knows everything about every band and is really into it. You know, he's like, you know, like Joey, just like so into music and bands, and just his whole life. And it's all I think about and want to talk about is this drummer and this band. And, oh, did you hear this? And just really into music. And that's, you know, so, but I can't remember them like having any kind of sit down and here's some advice, kid moment. You know, it was like almost immediately felt like we were peers, which was a cool feeling, you know. So they made us feel at home, and come into the dressing room, and, you know, we were there because they liked our band, you know, and they were like, I like this song. And James as well would be like, man, this part and this song, you know, they want to talk about, you know, I don't think they feel like they're in Metallica, you know, they just, you know, they feel like they're in a band that they started when they were kids, and it just became this huge thing, but they're still, I feel like they're still grounded, and they feel just as self-conscious about their art as any other artist still does, you know. No matter how big your band gets, you still feel like, you know, you're that teenager starting that band. I don't know. I still feel like, even though they're the biggest band in the world, I don't think that they feel that way about themselves, you know, which is good. That's how it should be, right?
Yep. It should be just like that. And when you're with Lars in a bar, some country, did you guys ever have a funny moment together? Anything goofy stand out to you about him? Or you guys arm wrestle? You guys a board game or something?
No, I've seen Lars do some wrestling, but I remember he had me come meet him, and we were in Copenhagen for we did I think a week and a half, or almost, like, I don't know, it was like 10 shows, I think, at the same arenas. And so we were there. So I met every single person that Lars ever knew in his whole life, because we were in Copenhagen for almost 2 weeks, and I was hanging out with Lars a lot. And it was like, I sold Lars shoes as a boy, you know, just everybody that ever existed in his life. It seemed like, you know, lots of, so, you know, we'd go to this bar. He's like, you know, meet me at this place. You know, I get over there. It's pretty late. I don't know. I'm saying the guys from Merciful Fate were there, you know, and Lars' cousin and some other people. And I basically just sat in the middle, you know, sandwiched in between some Lars and some other people across from a table. And yeah, they just spoke Danish the whole night, and I just sat there and drank. No, it's just like, I don't know what anyone's saying, but it's fine. I'm hanging out with Merciful Fate. Yeah, you know, I've just had we've had some wild nights. I can't get into, you know, all of it, but yeah, it was touring with Metallica it was just as awesome as I thought it was going to be. It was always fun hanging out with those guys. They were nothing but awesome to us, and super sweethearts and rad dudes, and Metallica rules.
Look, yeah, Metallica does rule. We hold them as like right. It's tough to explain, but on a spiritual level, we hold them like Mastodon and Opeth and Gojira and Metallica. I mean, whenever Ryan and I are lucky enough to be in the same room together these days, you know, we put on the Mastodon, we put on the Metallica and shit like that. But another one of your beer drinking partners and touring buddies is Mikael Åkerfeldt of Opeth. And me personally, right, dude, get your fucking ass out here. Let's go see Mastodon and Opeth coming up in May.
Hey Ryan, where are you? We're missing you.
Yeah, maybe. Just one word to describe Åkerfeldt. He seems like a really fun. I've met him a few times, but any funny moments with him, or is there maybe one word to describe that wizard of a man?
I don't know if one word would really do it, you know. He's like a funny Dracula, basically.
Yeah.
He's like very comedic Dracula. I don't know. Sometimes he's talking, I'm like, you sound like Dracula. You sound like Dracula, my friend. Yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah. It'd be funny if
good, but
Dracula.
He's a good drinking buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, his band came out with some beer too, just like Mastodon. Little black tongue here action. Got the bottle still. I was in Seattle when I had this, and I was in Atlanta, Georgia for one of these guys. And of course, as we were showing earlier, to Brann Dailor of Mastodon, Savage Land's Mastodon beer. This is all good stuff. So the tours, though, looking forward to Opeth. Ryan and I will agree that one of our favorite Mastodon tour moments is Black Diamond Skye with Alice in Chains and Deftones. Saw you in Toronto and Atlanta, and you remember that tour? I mean, by the way, dude, sick again cover for the Mopop Awards for Alice in Chains. Seeing you in the red and you know, doing your thing was great.
Thanks. Yeah, that was fun. I love Alice in Chains. Love those guys.
Yeah. Yep. Jerry Cantrell had the Brighton record that came out. Have you heard it yet?
I've heard a couple songs off, but I haven't sat down with it. I need to listen to it. I haven't listened to the whole thing. It sounds cool though.
Yeah.
I love his style. I love his guitar playing, and I love his vocals. So he's awesome. Right. Jerry Bear.
Yeah. Well, if to our viewers, you like what you've seen, a little like, subscribe. For every new subscribe, I make a $10 donation to the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, of which I am on the board proudly. And you know, there's no stigma on this podcast. And my question to you would be, you know, have you been affected by suicide, and maybe how has that impacted you personally?
Yeah. Yeah, my sister committed suicide when I was 15 and she was 14. And so it's like it affected everything. I kind of look at my life as being this, and then when that happened, it flipped over, and I'm in that part of it, the part that's post Skye, and just learning how to live with that for the rest of my life. Basically, it's yeah, kind of was the worst thing to happen. It's still kind of unbelievable to me that it did happen. I think about it all the time. I think that it was an impulsive decision. It wasn't a planned out thing for her. She was 14 years old, so super young. If you can look at a 14-year-old, I just meet 14-year-old people from time to time, and I just can't even believe that that happened, and she was so young, and I was only got to hang with her for that short period of time. And, I don't have any other siblings, and yeah, it just sort of turned everything upside down for me and my whole family. So, yeah, it was really terrible. And I don't know, for me, her, like I said, I think that it was an impulsive thing, and it was an unfortunate that, my mom's been sick for my whole life. Basically, she's been unwell, and we just had this pill drawer that was just stocked with everything. So we had this, it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances that led to her not being here. I think that maybe she was trying to teach some people a lesson, and she thought that maybe she'd have her stomach pumped and the next day it would be okay. But that didn't happen. So here we are. Yeah. Suicide.
Thank you for sharing that.
Brutal thing. It's not, and I know that there's people that are so destitute. I think that there's no other way out, but I don't know. Try to talk to somebody about it. Because the ripple effect of that decision is, I think it's more devastating than the person thinks, or they don't think about it, or they feel unloved to the point where, they don't think that it's going to matter to anybody. But for everyone that's feeling that way, there's some people out there that care. So
it's very true. Very true. Depression has no face. And I feel like if Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington and Robin Williams, if that's taught us anything, is exactly that. You count your blessings, and it's very important to talk about it. With the AFSP, we have Project 2025, which by the year 2025, we want to have the suicide rate decreased by 20% by that year. And if one person is watching right now or listening, and you see someone in need, or you're walking by someone and you smile, you don't know what that smile will do for that random person. It can make their day or a year. So important to talk about it. And thank you for doing that, Brann. Wanted to share with you something. Ashlyn and I, Ryan, she's not expecting, there's no babies coming or nothing like that, but there's a name at the top of the list. If we do, God willing, have a girl, we really are hot on the name Skye. So just wanted to let you know that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's a good name. My parents were sort of in the hippie realm, So when I was born and when Skye was born, which we were only 9 months apart in age, so they wanted to get weird with the names. I think it was part of their collective personality at the time to have some children with some unique names, you know, or it's still part of their personality. They're two very unique and interesting individuals and always have been. And so, yeah, Skye's a cool name.
It is definitely a cool name. And
the Isle of Skye is where it came from.
Where did it come from? I'm sorry.
The Isle of Skye.
Isle of Skye. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, another nice name is Nick Johns. I think this record right here is absolutely the bee's knees. I think this record is awesome. And if you get the physical copy, you get to see these really cool pictures, you know?
Paul Romano.
Paul Romano is the name. All right. Hushed and Grim. Pain as an anchor. You know, that middle part of 345, you know, your drumming starts the record. It carries right through. Right. What are some tracks off of Hushed and Grim that you're really jamming a lot in Greece out there, huh?
I woke up humming More Than I Can Chew, where Brann comes in, I think, halfway through or 3/4 of the way through that verse, which really hits home. So I think that really hits me. And then Skeleton of Splendor, which was fucking awesome in the aquarium. The performance there was great.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you need a little pick me up, blast this shit or any of Mastodon's music. I think it really helps me out too when you do that. Last question here, Brann. I'm curious. You've brought up I Appear Missing as by Queens of the Stone Age as one of those goosebumpy songs that you really love. What are 3 metal songs? Just I know you mentioned Mr. Crowley, but that stand out to you for the past decades that have always stood out to you from, you know, that give you the most goosebumps, that get you the most off.
I would say, let's see, man. Metallica, Ride the Lightning, title track. Really like that song.
Yeah,
that riff
great choice. Great choice.
The riff is so simple, but it's like, it's one of those, it's so simple, but it just is so good, you know. There you go. Ride the Lightning.
Fuck yeah.
Uh,
Flash before my eyes. Now it's time to die.
yeah. You shouldn't have done what you did. Now you gonna ride the lightning, boy.
Very Southern of you.
Yeah, I'm trying. Been down here for 25 years, man. Almost. Let's see, what else we got here? Goosebump City. I don't know about Goose. I don't, you know, it's metal. I mean, I'd say something off of King Diamond. Them, you know, that Them is probably my favorite King Diamond record. So it is time for tea. The Invisible Guests, pretty great one. And then let's see. I'd say Iron Maiden, Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Wow.
The suspense, so epic.
Love it.
That's Peace of Mind and Power Slave, those back to back. Just like Ride the Lightning and Master Puppets together. I just look at those records as like they're together. They're the same. And same with Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman, like they're together. Burton.
Yep, just got this in today. Charlie Benante designed this Cliff Burton shirt for his 60th birthday last month. But
oh yes, I saw that he did that. That was cool of him.
Yeah, definitely. Brann, man, when I look at you now, when I look at you in photos or interviews, it's kind of, I see the similarity, and it kind of does trip me out. So could we just say that you're one of the triplets here?
Yeah, sure, if you want.
All right. Well, we had our triplet here, Brann Dailor of Mastodon, We're honored on our birthday to have you. Thank you so much, brother.
Happy birthday to both of you.
Same to you. Same. Happy early birthday.
Yeah, it's coming up.
And to our viewers, a little subscribe or like, really appreciate it. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay hungry, and stay heavy. Right. Any last words for Mr. Raisinbran?
I was just gonna say, when you come back to Europe or Greece, look for the phallic-looking guy in the front row. It looks like a lot like the dildo, I think, that is in the back by the mirror there. So look for the replica.
Oh yeah, it's a banana with peaches.
Okay, it looks like cock and balls. Great.
But it's a banana with 2 peaches.
Okay.
Go Bills. Thanks, Brann.
Go Bills.
Go Bills. Thanks, guys.
Love you, Kev. Miss you, Kev. See you soon.
Love you too, Rye. Miss you too. See ya.
Later.
Woo.